Praise the Lord. I want to start by thanking my fathers in the Lord, our leaders, for giving me this opportunity to anchor this particular topic. You will bear me witness that if we're talking about things like this, I should not be in the best position to handle it. So it's a rare privilege. These are the key things that pertains to our profession and our duty. So for them to have given me this opportunity, I'm really grateful. Thank you very much, sirs. The Lord bless you in Jesus' name. I want to welcome all our new people into the system. Though I know that it's not all of us that are altogether new. There are those who have been in somehow, who are going to another phase, so to put. Now, the topic I'll be anchoring is administrative and management functions of an ideal office. And these are my outlines. I will start by talking about what is administration. From there, I will move to what is management. Because of our time, just brief on this, on all of this. From there, I will move to difference between management and administration, if there be any. Then we go to administrative and management functions, duties of an admin officers in RCCG. If you recall from the topic, we said a case study of RCCG, because every system has its own administrative style, administrative function. So we will zero in on RCCG. Then we move to required knowledge and ability. Required knowledge, abilities, and skills. From there, I'll talk on RCCG organogram. So, let's kick off now. Are we seeing down to the bottom? Yes, okay, that means I'll be reading everything that is down. Now, I want to start by asking this question: what is administration? Because I know there's none of us who does not know what administration is. So I want you to encourage me by responding. I'm a very shy person. So when you respond, you encourage me. You boost my morale. So what is an administration? This is no longer an exam or an interview. So even if you don't answer well, nobody will disqualify anybody. But please respond. What is an administration? Could somebody help us? What's an administration? What is administration? Okay. Thank you very much. That's a very good one. Coordinating, supervising, etc., etc. Now, briefly, administration has to do with overall determination of policies. That's one of the issues on administration. Overall determination of policies. So it would be very strange if an administrator does not have the technical know-how, does not have enough knowledge as far as the policy of the organization is concerned. As a matter of fact, you should be, or we are the custodian of the policies of the organization. And if in case one finds himself in an organization where there are no clear-cut policies, then the administrator is in the best position to determine, to have a blueprint of what policies the organization will follow. Now, also, administration has to do with setting of major objectives. If there is an organization where there are no objectives, it means that things will just be happening anyhow. So it is the duty of an administrator to set out objectives. And it is the objectives that helps us to measure our achievement. So administration also has to do with identification of general purpose. Identification of general purpose. If I may ask us in RCCG, if we're talking about our general purpose, what are our general purpose in RCCG? Ma? To make heaven. Yes, that's one of our general objectives. No, that's, you are coming to smaller ones. Our major objective is to make heaven. That's our general objective. And from there, the next one is to take as many as possible along with us. Laying down of broad programs and projects. Now, having our objectives in perspective, then how do we accomplish these objectives? It is the duty of the administrator to lay down programs and projects. And in RCCG, what are some of the programs that we have that are enhancing or enabling us to accomplish our purpose of getting to heaven and taking as many people as possible along with us? What are part of the programs that we have? Holy Ghost service. But there's one, Let's Go Fishing. Let's Go Fishing is a key program, and that is why our Father in the Lord, the General Overseer, does not joke with Let's Go Fishing and church planting. It's a way of accomplishing our major objectives. Without we winning souls again, without we planting more churches, then we are not fulfilling our objectives. It refers, that is, administration refers to the activity of higher level. That is to say, if you find yourself in this position, you need to begin to see yourself in a different manner. I remember when we first came in, our deputy director told us then, said, some of you go to office and you wear jeans and t-shirt. No wonder somebody will walk into the office and he will tap you at the back and say, hello, how are you? So the way you dress is the way you will be addressed. This is not a function of one being arrogant, or you understand, or one exalting himself beyond normal. But you need to know that administration is an activity of a higher level. It's an activity of a higher level. It lays down basic principles for the enterprise. It means guidance, leadership, and control of the efforts of the groups towards some common goal. So your duty involves guidance, it involves leadership, it involves control of the efforts of the group of people. In this case, who are the group of people that we're talking about? We're talking about the pastors, we're talking about even staff in the office, other staff in the office, other members of staff in the office. We're talking about the church, the congregational members as a whole. It surprised me some times ago when the deputy director said that some of you don't know you are big people. You control 300 pastors, 400 pastors, and so on. So it's an activity of a higher level, and it involves you guiding the work of other people. Now let's move on to management. I want to feel our impulse. What do we understand by management? Management. Okay, sir.
Management is the art of planning, controlling, coordinating the activities of an organization through a body called management team towards achieving the organization objectives.
I like that. Though it looks like it's more academic to me, but I appreciate it. I so much appreciate it. Any other one? Anyway, management talks about conceiving, initiating, and bringing together the various elements. So, as a manager, what are you to do first? You are the one to conceive. You are the one to conceive. Before a woman will give birth, she has to conceive. There's this friend of mine that got wedded some years back, and before the wedding, he was saying they were not ready for children yet. First year was almost passing, he said they were not ready for children. Before I knew what was happening, even if you are not ready, the family members will begin to ask you, what, is there any problem? You have to conceive before giving birth. You have to conceive. So as a manager, it's your duty to conceive. Let's assume that the office where you find yourself, things are not working. Things are not in place. It's wrong as a manager to begin to complain and begin to pass the ball. It's because of my oga. What are you doing? You can conceive and initiate. Where there are things are not working, initiate things that will make them to work and bring together various elements. Then coordinating, actuating, integrating the diverse organizational component. As a manager, it is your duty to make sure all the other elements, other departments in the organization where you find yourself are integrated together. It is your duty to coordinate that. Also, sustaining the viability of the organization towards some predetermined goals. It's your duty to sustain the viability. To sustain the viability. Some people who are already afraid what will happen to RCCG if Daddy GO is no longer here. Hallelujah. With good administrative structure and management, there will be no problem. There will be sustainability of the organization. And it's part of the work of a manager. It's art of getting things done through and with the people in formally organized group. Now, let's quickly, we'll not spend more time on this. We want to just quickly compare and contrast administration and management. But since this is not the key issue, we'll not spend more time on this. On the meaning, management is art of getting things done through others by directing their efforts towards achievement of predetermined goal. Administration, on the other hand, concerns himself with formulation of broad objectives, plans, and policies. Then nature, executing function, a decision making. Now let's jump all this. Let's jump all this and so that we can save much time. Now, practically, is there any difference between administration and management? And I said, practically no difference between management and administration. Every manager is concerned with both administrative and management function. Managers who are higher up in the hierarchy devote much time to administrative function. The lower level, more time on directing and controlling workers' performance. Now let's look at this diagram to help us better. Now this diagram is showing us that administrators are actually at the top level, while managers are more to the lower level. Administrators are more to the top level, while the managers are to the down level. So if you are an administrator, it shows that you should begin to think and work and plan like somebody who is high up there. It will be very wrong for one to do something that makes him look foolish. It will be very wrong for one to do something that makes him look to his oga as if he's a puppet. You can't this one do anything? So you are at the top level, and the Lord will help us. Now, administrative functions. Talking about the administrative function, I want us to start with purpose. What is the purpose? Number one, to ensure qualified individuals are available. To ensure qualified individuals are available. I have come to this knowledge for quite some time that jobs are not actually scarce, but qualified people are very scarce. I was helping somebody to apply for a job online, and I got to a point where they were asking information technology, PowerPoint, knowledge of PowerPoint, no idea, poor, average, good, excellent. Knowledge of Word, Microsoft Word, average, poor, like that, like that. And you can imagine when somebody wants to apply for this kind of a job, and knowledge of PowerPoint, he said poor. Knowledge of Microsoft Word, he said poor. Knowledge of Microsoft Word, average. He has gotten the response. And it's the duty, especially in the system where we find ourselves, the era of the son of the daughter of the auntie of uncle of is gradually ebbing out. It's gradually ebbing out. It should be who can do this job, who is qualified to handle this job. So is the purpose of administrative function is to ensure that qualified individuals are available, and then they are able and are willing and eager at the appropriate time and with the necessary equipment. It is one thing to get a qualified person there. It's another thing to frustrate the qualified person. Do you know it's possible that you get a qualified hand, but you frustrate him? You prevent him from being able to perform what is expected to perform. So you make sure the qualified hand is available and is able by virtue of the training you must have impacted into that person, and is willing. This willingness has to do with you boosting the morale of the person that is there. And we know, we all administrators, we know what you can do to boost the morale of a staff. You know what you can do to boost the morale of the staff, and is eager and at the appropriate time and with necessary equipment. Like our director always says, and Pastor Akinjo, they always hammer it. If you get to a new place and they didn't give you an office, they didn't give you a computer system, you have to demand for one. That means they are not ready for job, and you should be able to tell them in a polite way that you are here for a serious business. Now, administrative function focuses on people. I want us to note this carefully, that administrative function focuses on people. It focuses on others more than it focuses on you. As an administrator, you are not expected to be a selfish person. You are working with the people, and you should be concerned about how they feel and how do they work. You exercise administrative skills in getting effective cooperation. As an admin person, it is your duty to exercise skills in getting cooperation of the people you work with. Oftentimes, I hear people talk about people working under them. They are bad. As a leader, you should know that if you say all the people working under me are bad, what have you said indirectly? You're bad. You're a very bad person. You're a very bad person. It is your duty to bring out good things from them. So administrative function focuses on the people, and it uses skill to get the best from them. Now, let's look at this quotation. A good manager is a man who isn't worried about his own career, but rather the careers of those who work for him. Gone are the days when admin officers will begin to compare themselves with accountants, or admin officers and computer secretaries will begin to compare themselves and argue. It's our duty to be concerned more about the career of other people working with us. A good friend, a very close friend of mine, shared his experience with me. He's an admin officer, but I won't like to mention his name. At a time, he forgot about his own promotion and he was helping other people. He was going to the director, please, sir, these people, they have not, along the line, the director looked at him and said, excuse me, what about you? You are at what level? He told him, he said, why? Who did you offend? Yeah, bring your application. There at the Butemeta, he quickly applied for promotion, and they started searching his file. And within a short period of time, he was promoted. Why? Because he was more concerned about the people that are working under him. That's a good quality of an admin person. Now, the importance of AF, that is administrative function. AF provides administrative support for all functions in the organization. We should not let our position enter our head and we feel, I am the boss, and everything must come to, you wait for everything to come to your table. Your work also renders support services to other departments. I just listed some of the departments here. You should be concerned about how the accountants prepare the payroll. You should be concerned, and you should support them. While I was still preparing to come for this paper, something happened in our office between day before yesterday and yesterday. Their software is misbehaving nowadays. After preparing salary, it will make sure that it doubles one person's salary from among the list of people in each of the banks. We operate Access, EcoBank, and Zenith for salary. So Zenith Bank, it will double somebody's salary. EcoBank, it will double somebody's salary. Access Bank, the same thing. So one of the account officers noticed one for a particular bank. And the next thing she did was she ran to my office. Please help us. Help us prepare a memo informing this bank that we have made a mistake. They should not pay this person twice. After I prepared it, I forwarded it to the account. They are still afraid, taking it. I don't know whether because it's an error, and every one of them felt if the coordinator sees it, then the next thing is who committed this error. So I was still the same person who took it for signing, who looked for somebody, the drivers, to send it to the bank. Somebody may ask, how does that concern me? My work is also to provide support service. It's also to provide support service. Before I left office, I was trying to draft a letter, a particular organization where we have department in this camp, where some of our security staff have been working. I noticed that for over 3-4 months, they didn't pay the salary of our security staff attached to them. The accountant did not even notice. I have to call his attention. Did you notice that August was the last time this particular department paid for their security staff? He said he was not sure. So I have to prepare a memo to call the attention of those departments. Your work is to provide support services for payroll, for purchasing, inventory control, warehouse operation, where that is relevant, financing, etc., etc. Now, performing administrative functions, our priorities. Because if you don't prioritize your work, then one at the end of the day will become busy doing nothing. You run here, you run there. So there must be priorities. Priorities. Relief management of administrative details. This is a key job for an admin person. Your key duty is to reduce the workload on the head of your boss. And until one accomplishes this, the organ will not see you as being relevant at all. Until one gets to this level, that you are able to reduce his workload, take away all details from him. But while you are doing that, be careful, because it has to be done with. For an admin person to face only his own work and behave as if the work of other people are immaterial. My work is too much, and you sit down by the system from morning till evening. You are not doing your work. You must coordinate the work flow. What are the drivers doing? What are the security people doing? The accountants, how are they doing their duty? And while you are doing that, you do it with maturity and wisdom. So you must coordinate the workflow. You must update and chase delegated tasks to ensure progress to deadlines. It is one thing to delegate, it's another thing to chase. There's a point that our deputy director said that always ring chord in my mind. He said, when I give somebody an assignment to do for me, I have already done it. I've completed it. I've already completed it. That's his method. So that even if the person fails, he won't be too disappointed. But while the person is also working, he is supervising and correcting, putting the person in order. So you must chase delegated tasks. Take initiative in manager's absence. When the overall boss is not around, you must take initiative. I remember when I was in my former province, at the time, as this memo that I was to prepare, I think recommendation letter for marriage. We had to recommend a particular couple to in another province so that they could allow them use one of their churches, one of their parishes. And after preparing the letter, obviously APP was the one that was going to sign. The APP was not around. And this couple came and they were almost crying. We need this thing today. We need this thing today. Badly, we need this thing today. I prayed very well and I signed on behalf of my organ. So the following day, I went to fill his inbox. And these people came yesterday and they waited for some time. When I remembered that you were not going to come, I eventually signed for them. I was waiting for the reaction. He said, thank you. So from that day I knew, okay, so once in a while, when we are pushed to the wall, I can even sign for you. But that must be done with carefulness, with utmost carefulness. Where I am now, I hardly do that. I hardly do that. Because my boss respects his signature, his name, anything that pertains to his name. He allows me to sign some things, but even those things, I will first of all push it to him. And wait until he says, maybe you've been signing this one. Okay, sir. But I'm saying that we must take initiative in manager's absence. Keep project on schedule, maintain procedures manual to ensure consistent performance of routine. There are routines that we do in the office. We don't have to be mentioning them one by one now because all of us know some of the routines that we do in the office. So we don't have to be mentioning them one by one. But we must ensure that in our performance of the routine task, we are very consistent. We are very consistent. As if you will submit your report this month on 24th, next month on 27th, the other month on 21st. There should be consistency. And even when you are ordering for things in the office, there should be consistency. You order for 4 cartons of or 4 bags of pure water this month, or this week, next week it is 10, the other week it is 20. The time the overall head will be asking what's the problem. So we must maintain consistency. Now communication. This is an area where we have to also be very careful. We have to always be very careful. I received a memo from one department, from somebody sometimes, and I was wondering what kind of a thing is this. The error was so much. If you put them in back of Ghana must go, it will feel it. And you will begin to ask, did this person must improve on it. Nobody came down from heaven with these things. But as we keep on practicing, as we commit ourselves to it, we improve. So you must compose correspondence reports for own or manager's signature. Your own, you should be able to compose them very well. For your manager, you should be able to compose them very well. Mark this, please. Anytime you prepare a memo for your organ, and he has to cancel and cancel and cancel, a failure that day. I always put that at the back of my mind. That anytime I take memo to my organ, and he has to cancel and cancel, he has said this, you are failure. But any day I present it, and my organ is able to say, thank you, this is fine. Okay, just add this. I remember in my former province, I once prepared a memo for my boss. And after he said, okay, he said, come. You've forgotten that you are writing to the regional pastor. Don't use this one. Help me say, please, sir. I omitted the sir, and he wasn't okay with the sir. But I'm okay with that one. Just those little corrections are okay. So we must give ourselves to it. We must give ourselves into that. Arrange essential mail in priority action order for boss. It's your duty to arrange the memos in the order of their importance. Anytime the boss fails over in attending to any particular issue, it is you that has actually failed. And if a boss continues to fail, forget appointment and all that, then a time is coming when he will be looking for another person. He will be looking for another person. So you must arrange them in the order of their action. Then check deadlines on incoming requests and put preliminary work in play. Check deadlines on requests. Every request that comes, file them, and even if it is paperless, it still doesn't change anything. What matters is we must watch the deadlines. We must watch deadlines. If you are that kind of person that doesn't meet up with deadline, in no time, people begin to look down on you. Even at the national headquarters. If you are to submit annual leave, you have to submit this, and you don't meet up with deadlines, every time they have to be questioning you. In no time, you'll be devalued. Nobody will respect you. But if you are always keeping to time, you miss it once in a while. The comment will be, this time around, how come? So you must keep to deadlines and put preliminary work in every memo you receive, even before presenting them to your boss. There should have been some preliminary work already done. You won't be too forward. You will have prepared it and pretend sometimes as if nothing has been done. My former boss has a funny style. You present a memo to him, he may pretend as if he has not seen them. And what is he doing? He's waiting for you. So I've known him. While he is waiting, in fact, before presenting it to him, I've started my work. So 1-2 days after, I'll present what I've prepared. Sometimes he will ask, are you sure this is what they are talking about? Yes, sir. They explain it to us they explain it to us in little. But sir, maybe if you don't mind, you can call the director. So you have to put preliminary work in play. Don't be somebody that they will have to be pushing here and there. If they have to push you to do everything, then you won't, the regard will not be there. So process replies on own initiative or from boss's dictation or notes. Research, draft, or abstract reports. Now let's quickly go ahead. I'm watching the time so that I will not rush. Stay here. Now, on phones, you must handle all inquiries within your capacity. There are inquiries that are beyond your capability. You must be careful so that you don't sell your boss out. In the present office where I find myself, sometimes I have to represent my boss in some very big meetings of big people. And in such times, they expect me to respond on some issues that I don't have clear understanding of. I will not respond. I will not respond. I will not respond. I will not respond. I will look for a wise way of telling them, work on it, sir. Work on it. I was in a meeting sometimes ago and they were trying to get information about a particular thing. I simply said, sir, such information is not something I can just release like that here. We are still working on it, and when it's better, we will. Somebody said, does that mean you people have not started doing anything about it? I said, I didn't say so. But until it gets to the final stage, it's not good to just release it like that. And everybody kept quiet. Because if I'm not careful, I will release information that will sell my boss. And if I sell him, he's coming back to deal with me. That's normal. So, all inquiries, handle those ones within your capability. The ones that are not within your capacity, is either you tell them, sorry, call another person, or you refer them. Now, arrange calls back to protect boss time. Arrange call back to protect boss time. Your boss is busy, your boss is doing something else, and some people are just calling and calling. You know, you just try to arrange and tell them, sorry, you can't get in touch with him now. Could you please call back at so time? Even if it's visit. You can't just see him here. I noticed something with my present boss. The more you help him to reduce the number of people that visit him, the better you are. You are a good person when you help him to reduce the number of people that visit him. As I'm talking, somebody is nodding. He said, I heard. If you are working with people who are very busy, and people just come and say, would you know what I mean? Yes, sir. You know, yes, sir. Abayomi, come with all manner of things. All manner of things. Somebody came to our office, project office for that matter, said, mo fẹ́ rí daddy ni, kí lẹ fẹ́ rí wọn fún sísá. Bursary form. Tí ó rí di máa ń ṣe pé àwọn ló ti jáde. What concerns coordinator of project with bursary form? Sir, what do you want him to do about bursary form? Mo kàn fẹ́ clarify ni. Okay, ó ti jáde. In fact, I have one here, sir. Take, fill it, and submit at your province office. But for those who have serious issue, you have to. In the past, I didn't like to just force myself into some of these people. So when they come and they say it's personal, I'll keep quiet. And one day my guy said, what is personal? And if you don't get that tactics, some of these people will use the method of personal to just ride you. Somebody came to visit my boss and said, at the time she should not have come. At the time my boss will not like to have received anybody. And she said, after she filled the visitor's slip, she said, please, all you need to do, you have told me that I can't enter now, but all you need to do is just show to him. Let him know that it's me. You have done your job. And I did it. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. After I did it, he said, on your own ticket, this woman will come in. But you have only made me see the person I would not have loved to see. So I've learned another lesson. Everybody. In fact, it's as bad now as if you are the son of his uncle and you bear the same surname with him, and you tell me you are his. I would say, if you are his cousin, Call him. If you call him, tell him that the admin officer has refused you entry. Tell him that I said you cannot go in. And if you tell him, you will wonder what he's going to do. You will think that he was going to be angry with me. He would rather smile and say, okay, admin, please let this person in. So doing that helps you to reduce time. Provide backup materials for callback. When people come around, when people, whether in person or on phone, there should be somewhere where you note it down, because it is very, very wrong. After somebody has come from a long journey or from a long distance and wanted to see your boss, and you say he cannot see the boss, and probably you fix another appointment, and you didn't relay the message, it's bad. You didn't respect his or her personality. So there should be a way whereby you pass across the information. Of late, somebody close to my boss came to the office. Said he was coming from Lekki. I said, it's quite unfortunate. You cannot see him now. He said, but he told me how close he was. I said, good, I'm fine. Call his line. He said, but I don't have his number. I said, good. You have somebody, another person that is close to him, that has his line. Collect the lines from him. Let me zero in this one. Let me chip in this one. It's also very wrong and unethical for an admin person to begin to give his organ's phone number to people. I will not do it. Because some people will say, okay, give me his number, let me call him here. No. It's unethical. So after the person has left, I took the small form he filled and I took it to my boss. This person came in, he said from Lekki, but I didn't lie. So he looked through. Has he gone? I said yes. He said, when did he say he's coming back? I said Tuesday. That's all right. So provide backup materials for callbacks. Then route calls elsewhere as needed. It's not every call, because I am the admin person, then every calls that come, everybody that come visiting, then I must attend to them. I'll kill myself. There are those I can just push to the receptionist. There are those I can stylishly push to the accountant. There are those I can, as the case may be, if somebody comes on the issue of money, I quickly push them to the accountant. If somebody comes on a general question, I quickly push. It's as funny as sometimes after discussion, some people will say, give me your phone number. People that I may not want to give my complimentary card to. I say, okay, meet the receptionist. It's not pride. You understand? It even helps them to respect you a little. It's not pride. So learn to route calls elsewhere. Do phone surveys, inquiry as needed. Then appointments and meetings. Maintain calendar. Ascertain which events require boss's presence. It's not all meetings require the boss's presence. And if it does not require boss's presence, whose presence does it require? My own presence, most of the time. My own presence or your own presence. So, but those ones that require his presence, you must have been telling him and preparing him for the such. Fix commitment to maximize boss's time, efficiency, allow decision desk time. Let me come again. Fix commitment to maximize boss's time, efficiency. Allow decision desk time. Now, what am I talking about? To maximize boss's time, there are issues that it determines or demands his commitment. Let him know this one demands your commitment and fix it ahead of time so that he can concentrate on such. When boss chairs meetings, you are expected to do it the following. In a situation whereby it's your boss that will chair a meeting, there are things you don't have to be told again. Number one, you should know that you are to prepare agenda in advance, especially at the province level, where you know that there will be province business meeting. My former province, before I got there, it was my boss tied to have appointed a secretary for himself amidst the pastors, because he had a lot of professors amidst them. So he would look for us. The one, in fact, it was the HOD of English in one of the universities that was the secretary. But that notwithstanding, I should still keep record for him. And I should prepare agenda ahead of time. He's the one that fixed the meeting, but some of the time he can't remember things to discuss in the meeting. So what I do is, the memos that came in recent time, memo came in on let's go fishing, memo came in on Christmas, whatever, annual leave, this and that. So I will have listed it for him. He will go through and say, okay. After some times it became his time to tell me, prepare your own agenda first. I will add my own. So after I have prepared it, he will add his own and give it back to me. I go back and reproduce it. So you must prepare the agenda in advance, arrange meeting facilities. I don't need to talk on that. Act as recording secretaries, prepare actions minutes. The reason why you need to act as recording secretary is because of where actions are required. Where actions are required. As from today, the business meeting, we want to be doing it on divisional level. So, divisional A, you will use this place, and yours will be first Sunday of the month. Division B, yours will be second Sunday of the month. Division C, yours will be third Sunday of the month, and every one of us, fourth Sunday of the month, will be meeting. He has spoken to the air. He may have forgotten immediately. So it is my duty to prepare it and attach action to it, and let him know you said this. That will call his attention. Confidentiality. I want us to observe that ego. What do you observe about this ego? Sir? Swan. How many birds can fly like that? How many other birds? And it has become so, it is part of him. And it's as funny as eagles don't flap their wings. They just ride. They have confidence in themselves. And if you don't have confidence in yourself, there is no way other people will have confidence in you. And one of the ways by which you can build confidence in yourself is by performing to, you understand, beyond expectation. Perform beyond expectation. We have said so many things. If you begin to write letters out and errors from time to time, with no confidence in you. If you begin to calculate and from time to time there are errors, they will lose confidence. So you must perform. You must perform. Perform to earn boastful confidence. Perform to earn boastful confidence. It got to a time in my former province that transfer, and my guy is such a person that believes so much in hierarchy. There are things that ordinary brothers cannot do. No matter how highly anointed you are, there are things that deacons cannot do. There are things that AP will not do. There are things that full pastor of 1 year cannot move close to. So, but it got to a time that transfer of anybody, full pastor of 10 years, he will ask me to go ahead. But after doing my own, I submit it at his table, and we sit down together. But it would be very wrong of me to let people know that we're doing it together. Once you begin to do that, you begin to lose confidence in you. You don't arrogate it to yourself. You pretend as people will still come and say, why did you people post me to this place? And you will tell them, sorry. Sorry. Meet my boss. How do you expect me to be transferring a big pastor like you? Meet my boss. And they will meet them. They will not even be able to confront the boss. They can wag their tongue in your own presence, but not in the presence of the boss. So perform to earn bossful confidence. Assure discreet handling of all business. Be very rational in everything you handle. Be very rational. Think over them very, very, very well. That helps you to earn wisdom. Now these are people queuing. I've talked a little about this the other time. They are queuing. They want to visit. And it's your duty to begin to screen. If you permit me to screen now, I'll first of all look for those who with short and pull them. You can see my boss. Don't tempt my boss. And I will look for men amidst them that are also not well dressed. I will screen them out. I don't know. You may be Boko Haram. So screen to control interruption. Screen. And one of the ways by which you screen is you first of all pre-attend. Before him, you attend to everybody. There's nothing like it's personal. There's nothing like it's confidential. What is confidential, sir? If you can't tell me, then you can't see him. I need to give him an idea of why you want to see him. So provide backup. Excuse me. Are we going back? Okay. Provide backup data as needed. We have talked briefly on that. Arrange amenities as needed. As arranged, rescue boss from laggard. By screening, one of the things you do is you rescue your boss from indolent people, from lazy people, people who just come around. Wasting time, thank you very much. People just come around and say, láti January mi ò rí nǹkan kan ṣe. So what do you want him to do? Like I've said, I work in project department. People come and say, Anika wa rí daddy lónìí láti January, àríṣẹ́ ṣe, ọmọ redeem náà dé la. Oh, sorry. January we've been coming to your office, we didn't get any work to do, and we are also redeem members, and we've been paying our tithe very well. One person I harshly spoke at the person. I said, excuse me, you are free to collect back your tithe. Yes! You are looking for a job. You are talking of tithe. Did anybody force the money out of your pocket? So if you are paying tithe, it means that you must come back and collect the tithe. Sir? So let every redeemed member come now and be demanding for their tithe. So after that, the woman now came. Said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say we have been. I just mean that what I wanted to say is I've not even been getting money to pay tithe. I said, that's better. And God will provide. God will provide. So we must do things in order to. Now, schedule visits away from bosses area to protect priority. Let's go further. Now, I will jump this one too because of time. Travel. In the situation whereby your boss needs to travel, is still part of your duty. This makes you to become an integral part of him, and this makes you to be on top of your job. You are also the protocol officer. So you have to make all the arrangement for travel. Arrange for travel through internal or outside agents. Arrange travel cash in advance. It's not on the day he's ready to go that you be looking for money. No, the cash should be made available. Prepare itinerary, trip, file, and supplies. Then prepare expense report tools for boss. That's where your boss allows you to do that. If he doesn't, no problem. Complete expense report after trip. I know that the senior director of finance must have been here. After every trip, there is the need to retire whatever you may have collected for the trip. It's very essential. Now, data management. I won't talk too much on this too because we have just finished the paperless section. it is wrong at this age for us not to have backup. You do so many things, and after some days you say, system crash. There was a time it almost became very funny. You will believe that system must crash. I didn't know that it is possible for you to use a system for 1 year, 2 years, and it will never crash. I didn't know. So there are things we can do to prevent that. Then improve, tighten storage, retrieval system, update and manage index. Then routines. I will also jump through this one because of our time. Update Secretariat Clerical Desk Manual. It's not normal, it's not good enough to get to the front desk, and it is the same way that has been there since colonial era that are still there. From time to time, the ones that are no longer relevant, it's our duty to take them away. Let it be looking so neat, so good all the time. You may not necessarily be the person that will do it, but you should give instruction. Set up an exception reporting system to handle routine without supervision. It makes me angry when I hear that it's time of report, annual report, and some people will say this, they are sleeping in office 4 or 5 days. I've done it before. In fact, there's a brother in the house who has helped me to do that. My first year in the office, during annual report, we went and started sleeping in the office. It's nonsense. Maybe it's what I've been doing all this while that they are asking me to gather. And it's not going to be by accident. You know that by the time it's getting to February, March, they will be talking about, okay, let's say from December, January, ordination. By February, March, anything after that, they'll be talking about annual report. So you plan and gather this document. You plan and gather this document. When I was a province staff, a province admin officer, annual leave, I will have prepared it before I'm asked. I know I can't prepare ordination before because I can't jump ahead of my own. But as soon as they do that, I quickly do my own work. So set up a sessional reporting system. Let your reporting system be in place such that it makes it easy for you. And that will help you save a lot of time. Routinely reorder department supplies. I've talked briefly on that. Update mail, phone directories. Make this available to trainees. Now, I want to ask us a question. How many of us know this building? If you know that building, please let me see your hand. No, sir, I won't take your hand. I won't take your hand. Our cameraman wanted to answer the question. He knows it perfectly, and I know he knows. How many of us know that building very well? Okay, what building? The general verse. Let's clap for him. Yes, that's the general verse's house. That's general verse's house. Now, what brought us to that project? And project in this sense does not necessarily mean building. Now, for every project, be it building or whatever, that the province or whatever organization you are working with, wherever department you are working with, is handling, every administrative detail is expected to be handled by you. Every administrative detail is expected to be handled by you. Then seek greater roles in projects within administrative and other areas of competence. The more you are able to come out of ordinary, permit me to use ordinary, mere administrative functions, the better you are. Don't limit yourself and say, my own is administrative, nothing concerns me about it. An average boss wants somebody who takes over. No, not takes over, who takes charge. Somebody who is up and doing, who can do this one, do this one. So, seek greater roles in projects within administrative and other areas. Then seek training on projects outside your range. In situations whereby the work that is on ground are things that are outside your range, you can seek training. You can seek training, not necessarily by going to school. You can read materials. You can meet some expert and let them put you through so that you can perform your duty. There's a quotation down there. If you are interested, you will do what is convenient. But if you are committed, you will do whatever it takes. Don't just be an interested person who do what is convenient. But give whatever it takes for you to do, to be the best. Now, that's the roof of the General Overseer's house. I had a lot of difficulty climbing, and that's me. I had a lot of difficulty climbing it that day. Yes, sir. So I saw them, the engineers are working, and I wanted to supervise, see what they were doing. So when I got there, my story was like that of Peter, who was walking on the water. So the stairs was up, wooden one. So I got there and I started climbing. When I got midway, somebody shouted from behind, Oga, 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 Abayomi calling me, that wooden thing is not strong. I say, yeah, I'm in trouble. Midway, I said, I'm in trouble. So I went back. I got down, and everybody started laughing. Oga can only sit under the AC. He cannot climb the ladder. So, but the chief engineer, the engineer in charge of that work, is this person here. He started encouraging that, me, you can do it. Don't mind them. You are not as hefty as myself now. If that wooden thing can carry me, you can carry me. So I climbed. Just to see what they are doing there, to be able to give report on it. There's a quotation down there, and it says, if you take ownership in all you do for others, you will eventually own things beyond your imagination. If you take ownership in all you do for others, in what you do for others, take ownership. Take ownership as if you are the owner. You don't walk into the office and you see people wasting papers and you pass as if, anyway, it's none of my business. Do it as if it's your money that was spent, that was used in buying it. Take ownership and do the work as if, as if it's your father. It's actually your father's business. Seek training on projects outside your range. Now, supervision. My time is fast spent now, so I should run up. Good, I should run up now. Supervision. Supervise as required. That is to say, supervise what you are required to supervise. That's the way I always use, a method I always use to know whether my Oga wants me to supervise a particular job or not. By the time I go there, if he's around, I watch his face. If he looks at me with excitement, then I'm free. If you are waiting for the day he will call you, he may never call you. He will conclude you are not interested. And after supervision, I will go back and say, this happened. Sometimes he will say, I'm pretending. Later he will say, what did you say happened there? That means he wanted you to actually be there. So you must supervise as required, recruit if necessary, and if you are given the opportunity, you are to recruit, you are to hire, train, and supervise part-time or full-time, paid or unpaid volunteers, etc., etc. You do not always have what you expect, but what you inspect. Please note, in life, we don't necessarily have what we expect, but what we inspect. That is why you must inspect. You must inspect. Especially when you delegate, you must learn to inspect. Now, can you guess who are those seated over there? Admin officers. In which organization? It's like you were there. So these are admin officers in RCCG. Let's quickly run through some of the duties of admin officers. This is a conference of some admin officers somewhere, not far away from this place. Now, it's the duty of an admin officer to plan, direct, and coordinate the internal administration. It's the duty of admin people in the office to do this. Plan and coordinate internal administration of province, region as directed by the PIC. Participating in assessing the financial situation of the province and the subsidiaries, prepare budget and oversees various administrative operations. Ensuring efficient use of province assets and facilities as directed by the PIC. Note that it's as directed. As directed. Establishing and directing operational administrative procedures. Representing the province in dealings with other parts of the mission and outside bodies as directed by the PICP. Planning and directing policies on behalf of the PIC. I've mentioned in the earlier stage that in administration it's your duty to oversee the policy. Where there are no policies, you plan. Apart from redeem policies, in the province or department, there are some policies you should put in place. There are policies within policies. So overseeing safety, health, and related programs and activities with the participation of all concerned, planning, directing, and coordinating research and development activities in-house or commission from external research organization to develop new or improved technical processes, product, or utilization of materials. Ensuring periodic collation, processing of monthly progress report, etc. Responding promptly to the directives from the national headquarters. You are expected to respond promptly. You are expected to respond promptly to every directive. Any other duties as may be decided and directed by the PICP or you know the person? Unfortunately, I'm not a football fan. Now, we need some knowledge. We need some, to acquire some knowledge, we need some expertise to perform our duty very well. Some of the knowledge is, some of the areas we require knowledge. Now, knowledge of English, spelling, grammar, and arithmetic. This sounds too elementary, but we need them. We need them. Any admin person who does not have dictionary. I'm not talking about word, whatever. That check. What do you call it? That thing that checks spellings. I'm not just talking about that. You should also have dictionary on the system. And from time to time, you should have books you refer to on grammar, English grammar, and little arithmetic. Knowledge of rules, regulations, policies, and procedures. As the manual, the operational manual of RCCG will be handed over to us, it is expected of us to read it from cover to cover and really digest it. So that when people come, it is not then you begin to flip and say, it's like this. In one of our meetings, somebody asked a question and I was flabbergasted. He said, sir, somebody asked a very intelligent question. That person said, we always give full-timers leave. What about part-timer? And to him, it was a very intelligent question. And I think that is no question at all. How do we give part-timer leave? What kind of leave? Do you give them leave bonus? By the time you consider all that, you just know that that question is already totally solved. So we need to get enough knowledge on that. Knowledge of the operations and minor maintenance of various office and communication systems. It's not everything we begin to look for people to fix. There are little things we need to be able to do by ourselves. Knowledge of specialized formats for letters, memos, and report. Note the word specialized. Specialized. In RCCG, we have a specialized way of doing our memos. Excuse me, we are not looking, the admin is not looking, admin and personnel is not looking for you to give us a new format. They're not looking for me to give them a new format. We have our own specialized format. So the best I can do is to go through some of the memos that comes from the headquarters and see the format and take you from it. It's a very simple thing. In some other organization, there's a way they write memo. There's what that will be at the right side, that is that will be at the left side. But in RCCG, our own style is different. We don't need anybody to come and teach us that we are not doing. No. That's our style. So there is a specialized format for letters and memos and reports. So just get yourself conversant with those things. Knowledge of budget preparation procedure, knowledge of the principles of office management and supervision. Then there's a quotation there. I'm not the manager because I'm always right, but I'm always right because I am the manager. I'm not the manager because I'm always right, but I'm always right because I am the manager. As a manager, you must remember that you are the manager and you are the administrator. And because of that, you must position yourself to be always right. I'm not saying you should argue and say, I'm right. No. But do the right thing. Do the right thing. If I don't get to work early, how do I tell somebody else to get to work early? It's a simple thing. It's a simple thing. So you must do the right thing. Now, abilities. Ability to exercise independent judgment in evaluating situation and making decisions. Ability to plan, organize, supervise, and review the work of subordinates performing a variety of functions. Ability to apply and explain rules, regulations, policies, and procedures. Ability to understand and follow verbal and written instruction. Read and comprehend written material. It will be wrong as the administrator that memo comes and it's your subordinates that we have to read it and interpret it to you. You begin to lose respect. So ability to operate personal computers and various office equipment. There was somebody I worked with in my former office before he eventually was pushed out of the office. Thank you very much, sir. All through the time we spent together in the office, he cannot use computer. He cannot photocopy. He cannot use computer. He cannot photocopy. What is difficult about photocopying? You put it there and you press. You learn it even without anybody telling you. You learn it. You go there and try it. But he cannot do it. So now this is how a province organogram looks like. This is like the second to the last. This is where we're ending it. So a province organogram looks like this. From the pastor in charge to the APIC base to the admin officer stroke accountant and on and on and on. And it ends with it could still continue, but at least in most of our offices it ends on this. Now, it's your duty to locate where you are and know who are those that are responsible to you and who are those that you are responsible to. It helps you to know how to fully and maximally perform your duty, and it earns you respect. Wow. The greatest gap in life is the gap between knowing and doing. Thank you very much.